Nobody likes a bear market, but thankfully that doesn't mean that you can't make any money. As long as projects keep building, there will be plenty of opportunities out there. You just have to know where to look. So, if you're interested in making over 100% APR, then be sure to keep on watching. In this video, we'll take a look at the Optimism Incentives program and how you can claim some of those marketing dollars. Now, before we dive into this video, I want to have a small disclaimer. What we're about to take a look at is super risky. So none of this is financial advice. I'm just showing you the degen plays that I'm taking a look at. What you do with this, of course, is up to you. First things first, let's discuss why I'm looking at Optimism. So Optimism is a respected and highly anticipated layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum. So it's not just a random degen project with an anonymous team. As we can see on CoinGecko, the Optimism token was launched in June, which of course was a bit unfortunate because the whole market was tanking. Nonetheless, most tokens that get airdropped, they tank anyway after the first week, and we see a similar thing going on here with the Optimism price chart. Now, it is remarkable though that the price of the Optimism token has already gone up, and we actually already set a new all-time high. This really shows you that there's a lot of faith in the work, and of course I'm not saying that now is a good time to buy the token. I mean, the Optimism token went 4x in just a month, and this in a bear market, but I'm just pointing out that the project is getting some real traction. As DeFi degens, of course, we're more interested in the total value locked, and for this we're going to take a look at DeFi Llama. Over here we can see that Optimism has tripled its TVL in just 1 month, and unlike Findora, the TVL of Optimism is over 1 billion, which is of course a lot of liquidity. Diving deeper into the chart of the Optimism network, we see that TVL really spiked in the last week, and this is of course thanks to the incentive program. Last year we saw a similar approach being applied by several other networks like Polygon, Avalanche, and so forth. It's a great way to attract capital, but we have to keep in mind after the incentives are gone, a lot of those people will simply shift to a different network. And hey, let's be honest, as soon as we find something else with great returns, we are the ones moving ourselves. To know which projects are getting the incentives, we go to the official Optimism website. I'll put a link in the description of this video. Then we click on Ecosystem, and then we click on All Apps. Next, we see this very nice filter, which is OP Summer Incentives. And that will give you a list of all the projects that have their incentives live right now. In this video, I'll quickly go over all the different platforms that I think are interesting, and we'll start with the least risky ones. So they involve just the regular staking of coins and stable coins. Also, before we continue, if you have enjoyed the content so far, it would make me very happy if you would hit that like button. Alright, the most known project in this entire list is of course Aave. Aave is a blue chip DeFi project, and this is of course also why it is attracting so much TVL on the Optimism network. Next up on the list is Lira. As we can see on the Lira website, we can create call and put options on Ethereum. As of now, the only tradable asset is Ethereum. If you want to get some of those incentives, you will have to deposit some money into their vault. We see that the current APY is 15%, and when we click the question mark, we see that all of the rewards are being provided by the Optimism Incentive Program. Next, we click Deposit, and we see that we'll be depositing the Synthetics USD stablecoin. Very important to know, you will be paying a withdrawal fee of 0.3%, and that means that at current rates, that you'll have to stake your coins for about 14 days if you want to make it profitable. Next up, we have Rubicon. So Rubicon is a classic order book trading platform, and again the thing that we're interested in are the pools. On this page we can see that we can stake a bunch of popular tokens such as these stablecoins, DAI, USDC, USDT, and so forth. However, be very careful, the APR is variable, and as we can see with USDC right now the return is negative, so you have to keep an eye on this one. When it comes to returns right now on the stablecoins, it's definitely not that interesting. The only interesting one in the list, I think, is the Ethereum one, which will give you about 13% APR. Moving on to the last one in this list, which is WePiggy. So WePiggy is a lending platform similar to Aave, but of course a lot smaller. Smaller, of course, means more risk, and more risk means higher return. And for this reason, they are willing to give you up to 38% on their own stablecoin, which is PUSDC. Very important, you will be locking it up for 180 days. Now, if you really want to release your inner degen, then you have to take a look at the borrowing function, because right now you're actually getting paid to borrow Ethereum, USDT, DAI, and BTC. Again, this is super degen. I wouldn't do this myself, but hey, I know some of you like to take a lot of risk, so you could take a look at this as well. Good, now that we have the staking and stablecoin options out of the way, we're going to take a look at the liquidity pool options, which of course are a lot more risky because you'll have impermanent loss. The ones that we'll take a look at is Thales, Perpetual Protocol, and Velodrome. So let's take a look at Thales. Thales is a novel on-chain permissionless and non-custodial parimutuel market. So what the hell is parimutuel? It basically is a betting system in which all bets of a particular type are placed together in a pool. The payoff odds are calculated by sharing the pool among all winning bets. Long story short, over at the Thales website, you will be betting if the price of a token is going up or down. So the thing that we're interested in, of course, are the OP rewards. And over here we see, not unsurprisingly, that you'll be getting rewards by using the platform. But there is one more thing that I am interested in, and that is you'll be getting additional bonus rewards if you stake Thales or if you provide liquidity. To get more information on this, we click here on the Thales token. On the token page, we see that we'll be getting an extra 17% on top of the 34% APR thanks to the Optimism Incentives program. Now, if you really want to get degen, we'll take a look at the liquidity pool staking. So if you're providing in the Thales wrapped Ethereum pool, you'll be getting up to 170% APR. Again, this is APR, not APY. So this is an insanely high return on an annual basis. 80% of this is coming from the Thales platform and 90% is being provided with the Optimism Incentives program. These rewards, of course, they will not last. They will go down very quickly. And you have to believe in the Thales platform. Otherwise, I wouldn't even touch this. The next one is Perpetual Protocol. The basic website might be a little confusing, but the app that we're interested in is this one. So it's the trading app. So we click on a launch app. On the app, you'll be able to go long or short on all these different assets. Again, the thing that we're interested in are the pools. The first thing you'll notice is this wide range when it comes to the total APR. So we have 7% up to 1000% for Matic. Now, the reason why this is so wide is because they have a really innovative system when it comes to providing liquidity. To get more information, we click on Add Liquidity. And here you actually see that even when you're providing liquidity, you are actually betting on the platform as well. So you either bet that it goes up or it goes down, and then you have to bet on a price range as well. Now, how does this exactly work? Well, to find out more, we click on Learn More. Scrolling down on this page, we'll get two examples. So basically how the system works is you provide a range, for example, this 20%, and as long as you're in this range, you'll be getting rewards. If you're getting out of this range, you will no longer be getting rewards, and you will be either getting 100% of your position in US dollar or 100% of your position in the token that you're providing liquidity for. So it's definitely a new and interesting way to provide liquidity, and I think people that like to gamble will be very interested in this. So if you have used this platform, please let me know in a comment, because I'm really interested to see how people enjoy this type of liquidity providing. The last one that we're going to take a look at is Velodrome, and this is really your classic swapping platform. Arriving on the website, we of course get our swap function. And then in order for people to swap, we need liquidity. And to provide this liquidity, we have the pools. So clicking on pools, then we click on APR and we filter on highest first. And then we see a very nice list of liquidity pools that we can provide liquidity for. And of course, the returns can be very high. Personally, I think the most interesting ones are on the second page. Here we have, for example, Optimism DAI, which will give you 70% APR. Again, this is APR, not APY, so this is definitely looking good. Then we have over 50% on USDC and Optimism, and even more than 50% on Ethereum Optimism. Now, if you're like me and you don't like to compound it daily yourself, then I got some good news. Because Beefy Finance, which is of course an auto-compounding platform, they have integrated all the liquidity pools from Velodrome. So this means that if you provide liquidity and you put that liquidity pair in Beefy Finance, you no longer have to compound it yourself. This also means that, for example, that 70% APR they would be getting on the Optimism DAI liquidity pair now turns into 100% APY, and you don't have to lift a finger. To wrap up this video, if you're willing to take on massive risk, for example by providing liquidity on Thales, you can easily make $500 per month by only investing $5,000, and this of course for as long as the Optimism incentive program is running. Again, all of this is super risky. We're still in a bear market, and of course the tokens themselves, they can crash, and at some point the whole liquidity program will stop. So please keep these things in mind. All right, that's it for this video. If you made it all the way to the end, please post a comment, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.